This episode of the ResortLoop.com podcast is brought to you by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's is proud to be the official specialty coffee of Disney. Enjoy drinks and pastries at Joffrey's kiosks throughout the parks and check out the Disney Specialty Coffee Collection only at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Please board quickly and safely. Our monorail will be departing momentarily. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
Thanks for joining us for the first non-Holiday-thon show of 2016. Have you become rehydrated and renutriated after that?
By the way, I appreciate the whopping 3 days off between the Holiday-thon and today.
Well, you threatened to get the union on me for
that. Was not, yeah, the union of one. Can you have a union of one? I suppose
you can have a union of the snake.
You sound a little.
I do.
Over-partied, my friend.
If that was what it was, I would feel fantastic. Unfortunately, we had illness going through my house over Christmas. But it didn't peak until the day after Christmas, so at least we got Christmas in okay. But after that,
yeah.
But I can cut really deep audio right now, so I should probably do a show this way.
In place of Tim Scott, we've got Barry White. Everybody,
hey, hello.
Thanks for joining us there, Barry.
Thank you very much. Oh, my goodness.
I have this day in Disney history,
You
Tim.
keep talking and I'll be quiet.
All right. This is one for you, actually. This is a good one for you, yeah. In 2011, on this day in Disney history, 2011, at approximately 6:30 a.m., Disney's newest cruise ship, the Disney Dream, arrives at Port Canaveral, Florida, for the very first time.
Well, that is exciting.
How about that?
That was 4 years ago.
2011.
Wow.
So there you go. That's not a whole lot going on this day in Disney history. I mean, there's a lot, but it's kind of boring. I mean, I'm just being honest. This
day in Disney history, edited by Bob Collar.
A lot of people that were born, and that was cool. But
we
don't really do.
If you're looking at Bob right now, you just see the words yada 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 coming out of his head.
Yada. So that's our this day in Disney history. What, Tim, on this very first show, other than the holiday? That was a long pause. In 2016, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're still basking in what we would call the Force Awakens Afterglow.
Ooh.
I've not seen it yet.
Kabillions and kabillions of dollars.
They don't have my money yet, but they will.
They will.
I'm holding off. There might be a chance we can see it in IMAX somewhere.
Ooh, I got to see it in 4K.
4K?
Yeah.
You had to run a 4K to get there?
It cost me about 4K to get in. No, it's that new digital format. Beautiful. My God.
Is this like a TV thingy?
They're coming out with 4K in televisions as well soon.
Oh my goodness! I wish I knew something about that.
And there's 8Ks coming. And
oh my gosh!
There's Ks everywhere.
I barely caught up to those DHs HD letters.
HDs.
My goodness.
Yeah. 780, 480,
480, 481, whatever it takes.
1080i. We don't know what
we're
talking about. IMAX.
There's right back to IMAX.
Right back to IMAX.
Full circle.
All right, so we're basking, Afterglow, Star Wars, go.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to reflect a little bit on some Disney movie history, maybe kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Talk about what are the Disney movies that they have made that they had to make.
Absolutely.
There are movies, they make to make, but there are certain movies they either thought the audience needed to see or the audience wanted or clamored for. Or they, as just a company, wanted to make.
Absolutely. I love this idea because, people think that Disney just made movies. They made movies.
Right.
Some were hits, some were misses, and some were, like you said, some were absolutely necessary, sometimes for the health of the the studio, sometimes the company as a whole, and just sometimes, I think, sometimes for society,
Yes.
if you will.
Yes.
You want to start us off? What was the most important film that they made?
The most important film.
I'm going to ask you that question. I know,
You know,
being the movie buff that
you
I
are.
am,
You are a guru.
I don't think, have seen half these movies.
I probably have not, but I thought this was a very interesting topic.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to get to the one that actually, in my mind, spurred the conversation.
Right,
We'll get to that one a little bit later.
Right. That was a recent one.
Very recent.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little old school.
Yeah.
I was going to think of. I was considering Snow White.
Yes.
I'm not making that my first one though. A little too obvious because it was their first one out of the gate. So they obviously had to make it because you got to start somewhere.
Right.
I'll let you because apparently you're going to talk about this one.
I'm excited.
I know it's very, and plus I'm trying to cause controversy, but not bringing up the most obvious one. I'm jumping ahead a little bit to Fantasia.
Oh, there you go.
It was like Disney's passion project back in the day.
Absolutely.
He wanted to show animation as more of an art form,
Yeah.
not just entertainment, also art. He wanted to bring it in with symphonic music, just wonderful, beautiful music.
Absolutely.
Let the animators go crazy, do what they envisioned and always wanted to do, and made a beautiful movie.
Right.
That I think that maybe they knew it was making it. It wasn't going to be a kids' movie necessarily.
Right.
Because I remember when it came out, it was re-released when I was young, and we went to see it, and I was like, this is boring. I don't understand the story
Right. Yeah.
as a kid, but going back and watching it, and we got the the Fantasia 2000 back when it was released on VHS.
Right. I was going to bring that up. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just such a beautiful movie, and they remade it a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
They re-released it and added a couple new scenes.
Yeah. Steve Martin was the host of Fantasia 2000.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't Michael Bolton in there somewhere, I want to say? I might be thinking of something else.
You're thinking of something else.
Oh, well.
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Fantasia was huge for society as a whole, I think, because it introduced so many people to classical music.
Yes.
In a way that it had never been introduced before. If you look, and this is, I'm glad you brought this up right out of the gate, because I think so many times we do not look at movie music as classical music.
Right.
You look at somebody like John Williams, who, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, E.T., Jaws, all of these incredible films that without the music, not so good maybe.
No, it doesn't help set the scene, set
Right.
the mood,
Right.
set anticipation, excitement.
And I'm just going to say, people like John Williams are our generation's Beethoven and Bach. I just think that they are guys that should be recognized as great classical music composers,
I couldn't agree more.
because they do.
Absolutely.
That's what they do.
Absolutely.
And Fantasia, unfortunately, the very first Fantasia did horribly, because, like as you said, nobody knew what it was about. It was around the time of World War II, which was difficult for the company. Anyway, the company was struggling. One of my big ones that actually, of course, and you said Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs changed the entire landscape of animation. So you're right. But my second one that I had on the list, right after, a little after Fantasia, saved the company. Actually saved the company because they were getting ready for bankruptcy.
Bring it.
They were so in the hole financially.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1950, Disney brings out Cinderella.
Classic.
Huge for the company.
Oh, yeah.
Huge for the company. So again, continuing that storyline of the children's stories. Pinocchio didn't do too well. Dumbo didn't do too well. And of course, that was all during World War II. And a lot of people, the entire European market was shut off from Disney films. So when Cinderella was released, it was kind of this is our last shot, or we're going to be maybe bankrupt. We might be done.
Tell you, wasn't Walt famous for using all the money that he earned from his previous project and sinking it into like his next project?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think some of that drove Roy nuts.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And the investors, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, okay, well, now let's kind of ride this wave and enjoy some of this money coming in. And Walt was always like, no, we're going to do this now.
You got to keep moving.
Well, wait a minute. Keep moving forward. Exactly.
Exactly.
Here's another one for you.
Okay.
I like this one. This was back in all the way back in 1953.
Okay.
All right. The Living Desert.
Yes.
You had that one?
I have that one. That's a fantastic one.
That started the whole Disney nature documentary series, the True Life Adventure series.
Yes.
Without that, you don't have Disney nature today.
Exactly. And I remember these movies. I mean, I never went to the theater to see them. You know where I saw them?
Where?
In school.
There you go.
We would see these things in school.
Absolutely.
They would hold my attention. Very well done. They managed to teach you about nature, have a little underlying story, to keep you interested.
Right. Some comedy, some fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So well done.
Very well done. And that actually, that very first one, The Living Desert, won an Academy Award for a documentary for Walt. So, and actually, in 1953, the most Academy Awards by any studio.
Yes.
The Walt Disney Company, and helped by The Living Desert. So this one I just kind of threw in there.
No.
Just because
it had to be in there.
It was such a... well, no, this is a different one. We're moving on.
We're still moving?
We're still moving.
Oh.
We got to move on.
I didn't get a chance to... That was the first
go
movie.
ahead.
That was the first movie released under Buena Vista.
Oh,
their own
yeah.
distribution company. I thought,
yeah.
No, so it's a little something.
Right. And if you remember, Michael Eisner, when he was in charge of the company, when he started the Disney Nature series, he said that this is in homage, if you will, to Walt Disney's True Life Adventures.
Yes.
So, again, without The Living Desert, the start of all of the documentaries that Walt did on nature, we don't have some of the great movies that we have today.
Right.
Monkey Kingdom, the Bears, and all of that stuff. So, how about this movie for you? And this one just kind of changed. I think it kind of changed America a little bit.
Okay.
Because everybody who saw it cried like a baby. Old Yeller. 1957.
I considered that one. I really did.
I just kind of threw that one in. That one really didn't change too much of a landscape, but man, it was really a powerful movie for a company that was known to make fluff for the most part. I mean, they weren't known to make those just powerful, gripping movies. And Old Yeller, it makes a grown man cry, for goodness'
You're
sakes.
tearing up right now.
I am.
I'm glad my voice is cracking, or else it'd be cracking anyway.
I just kind of lumped all of these in and
okay.
Jump in here because I know one of the actors that you have always admired and loved was a great part of this. I'm just going to say all of the live action films of the 60s and 70s. Now, I did a little math. Are you ready for this?
Oh, geez, sit down, people. He did math.
Yeah. 1960s. Now, remember, the company kind of went into a little bit of a flux when Walt passed away in the mid-60s, late 60s. But out of all of the films that Disney did, they did over 50 films in the 1960s. Only 3 were animated.
I believe that.
Out of 50 films in 10 years, 3 were animated. 101 Dalmatians, Sword in the Stone, and Jungle Book. Those were the only 3. They also had Mary Poppins in there, which was a hybrid,
right.
A little bit. But all those were live action.
Yeah, like the Herbies in there. And
the Herbie, the Love Bugs. And I'm going to go back to that documentary. I know I keep going back to that documentary the PBS did. And they specifically talked about this, how Disney kept doing these soft films or whatever they called them, where America was in such turmoil and we had all of these things going on with the Cold War and race relations and all of this stuff going on in this country and the civil rights movement. And Disney kept putting out these cookie cutter movies. But I think that was such an important part of the company and making sure that they stayed the course.
Well, you're staying the course. You're providing entertainment, for the country, who needed distractions.
There you go.
At that point, also, so you got to maybe start churning out a lot of content at that point.
Absolutely.
That
was back when Dean Jones was huge.
Right.
Kurt Russell was huge in
Haley
the films. Haley Mills.
Yes.
The Parent Trap, all of that stuff was going on then. I think that the 60s and the 70s, not necessarily a specific film, but the fact that the company kept staying the course with those movies, family-oriented for the most part, just a good feeling type movies, helped the country, like you said, distracted them a little bit maybe from, the reality of what was going on.
Right.
So,
here, let me touch on one. I'm going to touch on another movie. Now, this was a big movie for them. Big, huge movie.
Yeah.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
I think this is the one they felt like they wanted to make just to make the movie. They needed to make it to show that they could do science fiction, live action.
Jules Verne, isn't that Jules Verne?
That's a Jules Verne thing. Special effects.
Oh, huge
story.
Effects.
Work with huge stars.
Yep.
I mean, 20,000 Leagues, fantastic.
Fantastic movie. Kirk Douglas.
And a science fiction movie that didn't involve outer space or aliens.
Right.
In the sea, underwater.
Yeah.
Whole different, I don't want to say a whole new world, I'm getting to a different film. But, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And again, one of those movies that was able to take a classic. I mean, Jules Verne was writing that stuff, in the 1800s?
Oh, yeah.
And Disney was able to bring that story in a live-action film that was it was brilliant. It was so well done.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This thing made a little turn there in the Disney universe, movie universe.
Yeah, stepped out of their comfort zone maybe a little bit. How about jumping to 1982?
Oh,
can I jump to 1982?
I'm seeing if you're jumping where I'm at.
Well, it might be weird.
It won't be jumping too far.
There's a lot of personal space. I need a lot of personal space.
Stay out of my bubble.
Get that close. Tron.
Oh, you passed me up by a couple years.
Tron.
Talk to me about Tron.
Well, cutting edge with the whole digital filmmaking, use of computers, the fact that they were willing to look at what was going on in the country at the time. Video games were huge, and they were putting you in a video game,
right?
Which I think just was so cool.
That was a good film,
and because of that, maybe we got Wreck-It Ralph.
Love Wreck-It Ralph
later on. I just think Tron was it was such a cutting edge film at the time. Which one were you looking?
You passed me by I think 2 years.
Okay.
I went with the Black Hole.
Black Hole was fantastic.
Because Disney, they were passed by George Lucas on the space science fiction thing.
Right.
And they're like, we got to get something out there.
Right.
So they went with the Black Hole theme.
Yeah.
Big move for Disney here. They had to invent a couple of technologies because they couldn't use Lucas's.
Right.
Lucas's
eye.
George's.
Yeah. We're not going to. Disney's not bringing up his name anymore. He's been naughty.
It's amazing how much braver you get after you've been paid.
We're all right.
Anyway.
I was going to go on a tangent there, but we're not.
Do it.
No, we're not doing that. No.
You're going to fall into a black hole if we don't.
No.
See how I did that?
I see what you did there.
Oh,
nice.
But if anyone's seen the Black Hole, darker story.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah.
And strangely enough, first Disney movie. If my sources are correct, they had a little bit of swearing in.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of language.
Yeah.
So that was a big move.
Big move. Yeah. Going from their typical G movies to a PG. I believe it was a PG rating. That was a great movie.
Little violent, little more realistic violence, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But good storyline, decent storyline.
Great special effects.
Yeah, for the day.
Jumping out into.
Now I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah.
If you do compare it to Star Wars,
it
doesn't quite hold up. It looks more like a TV science fiction show than actually film. But remember it was like 1980. No, it would have been 79. I want to say. I could be off by a year, but I think it was like 79.
Somewhere around there.
Maybe 2
Yeah,
years
I
after
believe
Star
it
Wars
was
came out.
79. I believe it was 79. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
what are you thinking?
I love the black hole. The cutting edge technology from the black hole actually was what then propelled Tron. So you're right. Yeah. I jumped too far ahead.
No, you're fine.
All right, I'm going to jump ahead again.
Do it.
Staying in the 80s.
I'm going to drink some more Joffrey's coffee to
But this.
soothe my throat.
What do you? By the way, what
You're making me crazy.
Oh,
And then I'm drinking a French. No, I'm kidding. It's just making me crazy. Although you are also making me crazy.
I'm having some Carthay Circle today from the Disney blend.
You shared that with me yesterday again. That's a nice, bold one.
Ooh, bold.
Bold.
That'll put hair on your chest.
Yeah, I need
In
more.
a good way. It's good stuff. What? Don't look at me.
That's just more to wax off later.
Don't look at me in that tone of voice. 1989.
Ooh.
This
Taylor Swift.
propelled it all.
Yes.
Propelled it all. The Little Mermaid. Started what could be considered the Disney animation
Yes.
renaissance.
You're close to mine. You continue.
Uh-huh. That's it.
That's
new,
it.
New era of Disney animation.
I'm going to
The
say
Little Mermaid.
it wasn't so much The Little Mermaid. It was the one right after that, Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Because Disney had to prove they weren't a one-hit wonder.
Well, that's true, too. Yeah.
And it turned out and the one after that was even bigger.
Yeah. Aladdin and
Lion
and,
King.
Lion King. And it was just, that started the whole thing.
But
Where,
I do concur with you 100%.
if you look back, I mean, the biggest one I think they had prior to that would have been, I want to say it was Fox and the Hound was the bigger movie before that.
Oh.
Back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So Little Mermaid was it just launched the whole Disney animation renaissance, if you will.
It did launch it.
And we're seeing a lot of that today in the parks with the Little Mermaid ride and the whole art of animation with the Lion King over there. And
Yes.
Be Our Guest with the Be Our Guest restaurant and the whole new Fantasyland expansion. So,
Absolutely.
Big deal back in the late 80s,
The magic carpets in
early 90s.
Adventureland. They tied that in.
Yeah, let's take those out of there. We've already talked about taking
I
those
know. More spinners. Speaking of rides, I'm going to jump ahead to mine.
Where are you going?
I'm going to mention the original, the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because
All right.
they took the guts of taking an actual existing property they had.
Well,
And not a movie.
all right.
They took an attraction of
All
theirs.
right.
And they made it into a movie. I'm sure they did some testing to think it would be big enough to make a movie.
Uh-huh.
I think it was larger than they even thought.
Uh-huh.
Now that they're like 12 movies later.
And I'm going to tell you what made that even more gutsy.
Tell me.
Because they had made the Haunted Mansion
Well,
before that.
was that before? I thought it was after.
I think it was before. I thought it was before. I don't have the timeline in front of me. But I thought Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion came before
I thought it was after.
original Pirates of the
I will
Caribbean.
look.
All right.
Everyone talk among yourselves.
You look. I'm going to tell you the very next big movie that launched again, yet another renaissance in Disney animation,
Okay.
and eventually would become part of the Disney fold, if you will. But it was still a Disney product. Toy Story, 1995, started the whole digital animation.
I only didn't bring those up because they were actually Pixar at the time. Released by Disney. I'll give it to you.
Released by Disney, but eventually
No.
eaten up by the Disney Corporation.
We're going to have to edit this out.
You all right over there?
No, not at all.
This is edit free 2016,
Oh, you
by
poor
the
people.
way.
I tried to do what I could do.
Edit free 2016.
I'm getting close. Keep talking because I'm
So
getting close
I'm just
to
saying,
figuring out what we're doing here.
Toy Story 1995, and of course Fantasia 2000 was another one that I had. Here's another one for you,
Okay.
which changed the whole landscape of even quote unquote live action films for Disney, and that was Dinosaur. It was in 2000.
Yes.
Cutting edge digital animation, if you can call that even animation, because it was just CG. It was all CGI, that CGI look, where it looked so real. They shot everything on the back of the film, if you will, is real. They just went out and they shot nature scenes, and then they digitally put the dinosaurs in those scenes, which was it was unheard of and looks seamless even today. They did such a good job with that. And, of course, gave us the dinosaur ride at Animal Kingdom, where you got to find the Allosaurus.
Right. Now you would call it Countdown to Extinction.
Now you would call it.
Originally opened as Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Which is fantastic.
So there you go. Have you figured out
Well, you know what? I can't. It's hard to do this with one hand.
You're scrolling.
And then it's hard to also find this when I'm looking for it on the phone.
Uh-huh. You're scrolling.
I'm getting close. I'm at Hercules. I'm at Flubber. I'm at Mulan. Would I go too far if I got to Mulan? No, I'm looking for Pirates.
Uh-huh.
I'm still scrolling.
Well, I'm telling you, if you've already gone past Mulan, I'm telling you that Haunted Mansion came prior to it.
Curse of the Black Pearl was 2003. In July. Oh, wait. Haunted Mansion was November of 2003.
So it did come after.
Just a few months, though. So
Just
they
a
were
few months.
They were doing those, had to have been doing about the same time.
So, yeah, it was
Boy,
gutsy.
Eddie Murphy got the short end of that movie deal, didn't he?
He picked the wrong one. He chose poorly.
The moral of the story is go with Jerry Bruckheimer, don't go with gun films. That's what I'm seeing on my...
So, yeah, I love the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. You know, we were talking about the Disney leading men,
yes.
One of the past shows, and I forgot to mention Johnny Depp is now a Disney leading man with all of the films that he's done.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Jack the Pumpkin King, and
even if you take out all the Pirates movies, absolutely.
Right. So
crazy.
He's been doing a lot of cool things. What other movie you got over there?
I've got two more.
All right, hit
left,
me.
and these are ones that I just felt the Disney company felt like they had to make, wanted to make. These are the two that spurned the topic for me.
All right.
The documentary The Boys.
I was going to bring that up. There
exactly. Oh my gosh.
There are two documentaries that I have not seen.
Okay.
I haven't seen The Boys.
I'll take care of that for you today.
The Sherman Brothers story, of course. And Waking Sleeping Beauty, which was a 2010 documentary.
Oh, you know what? I think I saw that on a ship. On a cruise, I watched that.
Yeah, it was about the Disney animation from 84 to 94, that Renaissance that we were just talking about. I want to see both of those.
I need to
see
that one again.
Tell me about the Sherman Brothers.
It was just a very in-depth show done by their sons. I believe it was both their sons of each of the Sherman Brothers. Had actual footage in there. Their range of music they did for all the years, for the attractions, for the movies, non-Disney movies, other projects. It's just incredible.
Absolutely.
You learn a little, and I don't want to give too many details for if people are going to go see it. You learn about the relationship between the two of them. Not always ideal.
Oh no! Yeah.
Loved each other. Kind of a brother
they were brothers.
thing. Yeah.
It's gonna,
You learn about their childhood, growing up. Just fantastic. I can't recommend it enough for everybody.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. I really want to see that one. Sticking with documentaries, though, have you seen? And I really enjoyed this. Walt and El Grupo.
I think I've only seen parts of that. I have heard about it. I need to make sure I see that whole thing.
Tell
us about that one.
That was a 2009 documentary where it documents Walt's 1941 government-sponsored trip to South America, because Walt was struggling with the studios. That was, and again, going back to that PBS documentary, they made it seem like he fled to South America to get away from his union issues, which was not the case. The studios were kind of floundering a little bit, again, because World War II was going on, and they had no access to the European markets or the Asian markets. So the company was struggling, and the government came to him and said, look, we need to keep the Nazis and bad influences out of South America. We want to go a goodwill tour down into South America. Will you do this for us? And he said, sure, I'll go down there. And he went down, and they toured all of South America. And we as Disney fans were able to get out of that Saludos Amigos and the Three Caballeros.
Fantastic.
And he just did such a nice job with all of his animators, and his wife was with him to provide goodwill to the folks of South America, just to let them know that their cousins from the north were still thinking of them and cared about what was going on down there.
Now, you might have to tell me if I'm right. Is that the one where he either met or became acquaintances with Salvador Dali?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That is exactly when that happened. Yeah.
Okay.
It's such a good documentary because again you get to see a lot of the old footage of Walt and some of the animators of the time going down to South America, and just it's so I enjoy seeing Walt. Not like we're used to seeing him on TV in the Wonderful World of Disney TV show and all of that. It's just so cool to see footage that his other animators just shot
outside his usual bubble.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Just being a regular guy. Yeah, it's just crazy. But that was a really good one, Walt and El Grupo. All right, so the one that stirred this whole conversation in the first place.
The relatively recent movie,
Yes.
Saving Mr. Banks.
Saving Mr. Banks. Just watched that again the other day.
Did you?
What a great movie.
It was a great... If you're a Disney fan, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all about him. I know a lot of people thought it was going to be just totally
Very
him.
little about him, yeah.
But so well done.
Right.
I would love to... We're going to get about this on the being another topic coming up. Maybe the next show.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about something very similar. But it was a movie. I don't know if Disney actually thought it was going to be a blockbuster. I think maybe they thought they might win an Academy Award.
Right.
I don't think they were thinking big money blockbuster. I thought it was a movie they wanted to make, a story they wanted to share.
Right.
And I'm not sure what the stars were paid in this movie, with Tom Hanks
Right, yeah.
and everybody. I have a feeling
Emma
most of the people in
Thompson.
it
Yeah.
just wanted to be in it.
I agree. Yeah, there's some big names in there.
They were huge names.
Big names. Paul Giamatti's in there, and all he is a limo driver, for
Right.
goodness sakes. So, yeah, what a...
Colin Farrell was in there.
Yeah, Colin Farrell.
Again, not in there
yeah.
for a lot. So I have a feeling
Right.
these people just want to be associated with the story and with Disney, just make a movie that everybody just wanted made.
Yeah, it's beautifully done. As Disney fans, you can't help but enjoy looking behind Tom Hanks as Walt Disney and looking at his office.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see some of the very cool things in that, including you see the Disney Florida Project poster in the back and all of that stuff going on. And I wasn't too sure. I thought, Tom Hanks is Walt Disney? I don't know.
Oh, you weren't sure? I was pretty sure.
But boy, I tell you what, the more you watch it, the more you see he really did a great job as Walt. So.
Again, I think he wanted to be Walt Disney.
Yeah.
That's just me.
It's a good that is a great. It's almost a documentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good. And I got one more for you.
Okay.
I got one more actual film, and then there's something else I want to talk about real quick. And that's the recent Disney Pixar Inside Out.
Okay.
I think that is such a great movie because it has allowed children to understand their feelings a little bit, to help express their feelings to their parents or other adults, and in a way that they never were able to do that before.
That's a great point.
It's getting great reviews from a lot of child psychologists and things like that, folks like that. I just think it's a powerful movie. It's a fun movie, but it's so powerful because kids now are able to relate their inner feelings to people a little bit clearer than they were before.
I thought it was great that the main character in there was a girl.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of kids, boys, if they have a problem, they're upset, they just beat up somebody and they're over it.
Right.
Or they can
right.
let things just roll off their back maybe a little easier.
Right.
Not all, of course, but
right. Yeah.
Girls, they can they just need a little more.
Well, and you look and you see who's kind of in charge of the girl is Joy because
Right.
she's a kid and she's happy. the person in the emotion that's in charge of the dad's always anger. He's he's mad about everything,
or confused,
right? Or confused, yeah, right. He's like, oh, we don't know what's going on. What did she just say?
What'd she say?
What'd she say?
Nod and smile. Nod and smile.
Right, right. And as adults, we can relate to a lot of what Inside Out had to say. So, but one last thing I just wanted to throw out there, and this I think I appreciate as a Disney fan, is that the Disney company has not forsaken its roots because they continue to give us the shorts, the Disney shorts.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
And I mean, that's where it all started. That's what the Disney Animation Company was all about. It was providing little short cartoons to run before the movies, major motion pictures, and they have not let that history pass. They continue to do that, and I love that.
Talking about the shorts, what do you think about the Pixar and Disney shorts airing at the former Captain EO Theater?
I like that idea because I think a lot of people, it's going to be a nice little break,
right,
from the Florida heat.
Yeah, get out of the air conditioning.
And there might be a lot of people who kind of skip past the shorts because they just want to get to the movie. They don't want to see the shorts.
They come in late. And they don't,
or they don't see it in a theater and they just get the DVD and they skip past the shorts before they, they don't go to the special features to see the short.
Right.
Films.
I'm sure it's just a temporary thing until they put in.
Oh yeah.
They're working on whatever they're going to work on.
Right.
But on the Disney ships, on the Funnel Vision, they'll air the Pixar shorts.
Right.
One evening, and they're so awesome.
Oh, they're fantastic.
So if you're watching these, everyone's saying you can watch these things on Netflix.
Right.
This might be true, but there's nothing like the big screen.
That big screen.
Yeah. Listen to the other kids laugh around you while you're watching these things.
Yep.
So
I appreciate that coming from the Disney company, that they have stayed with their tradition of Disney shorts. What started it all.
What short? There's going to be a new short, I'll bet, in the front of the Finding Dory coming out in a few months.
Oh, my gosh.
I can't believe that's a few months. I'm still surprised when we actually looked that up. I thought we were another year out on that one.
There are so many really good Disney shorts and Pixar shorts as well that they're just so much fun. So much fun. Oh. Anyway, Tim, that is all I've got.
Oh, everybody, thanks for joining us. Thanks for letting us talk about this topic. I'm excited about the next topic coming up or the topic after that. Very similar. Hopefully I'll be healed a little bit by then.
I hope so.
I won't talk like this. Well, hello.
We'll get Tim Scott back. Barry White will go back into retirement.
Oh, I'm just going to say, how am I going to wrap up the show? The cold medicine is kicking in now. You can find me on Twitter, ResortLoop10, Facebook, Tim ResortLoop Scott, ResortLoop.com.
I'm ResortLoop Bob on the Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget Facebook /ResortLoop. Like us over there. Rate us on iTunes. Don't forget my Diz Match that is actually, I kept forgetting to say this, it's free, but if you want to upgrade the membership so that you get the full benefits, then it's only $3.99 a month.
Bargain.
Which is a bargain.
I think so.
But you can sign up. Just go and sign up, and all it takes is an email, and you're signed up, and you can see, some other Disney friends out there. So
it's going to be fantastic. Everybody, thanks for joining us. This has been The Gateway to the Magic.
See you, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Oh, what was that?
I'm sorry. I have a day in Disney history, by the way.
Oh.
Just to let you know.
That's good, because the less talking I do in this show, the better it is for all of us.